and welcome back. Now, this is very important. This is the part 2 of the proposal that you're writing to an organization to improve their performances. Now, I told you I'm a freelance public relations officer, and I do this with passion. And what I do is I treat ailing organizations. How do I do that? Now, if you watch the previous programs that I've had episodes, then you'll get to benefit more. Thank you to those that are reaching out and having conversation. Thank you for believing in me, and thank you. It shows me that at least my time is well occupied every time. Now, we are continuing from the proposal that I told you. As a public relations officer, I will write a proposal to your organization as the CEO. And then we had talked the previous episode about, I'll give you a background information about your organization and why I feel like it is really ailing. And then I'll introduce myself and I'll tell you what I'll come to do. And what I'm coming to do is the objectives, and that we finished the objectives in the first episode. Now, this other episode, I want us to continue in terms of managerial skills. Remember, the first one was communication channels. Number 2, managerial skills. Number 3, workshops. Number 5, embrace new and fresh ideas. Number 5, review previous CEO styles and then details. And the details were so many. You might want to go back. Then now, try and develop direct efforts to achieving and exploiting results. Be involved. Be involved in your organization. How will you be involved? And that is why I come in to show you how you need to be involved. You just need to flex some muscles as the CEO. Be flexible. You know, initially I had said that you cannot do something that you do not believe will work. You do something that you believe can work, and you know how it can work. Then you need to guide us as your employees on how it will work. So do direct engagement in terms of relate with your employees at work, relate with your employees somewhere and somewhere and somewhere. All right? I'll tell you one thing. There's nothing as encouraging as you being part of the team. Yes, you get your respects as the leader, the manager, the HR, the CEO, but at the same time, you know, when you're part of the team, you make the team even stronger. You know, when you say, watu wangu, asante sana leo, mko poa sana. You encourage them, the kind of energy that they get. Now, the other thing is remove obstacles in the system. Okay. Now, when I say remove obstacles in the system, these obstacles cannot be known. You will not know who is an obstacle. And you cannot ask, nani ni obstacle, nani usumbua. You know, because you have to experience yourself like this part is not working and this part is not working. And when we say remove obstacles, it does not mean fire. No, it does not mean fire. Now, what happens is when I told you about taking surveys and understanding your employees after some time, because maybe the person you've put in charge of a department is not really giving the rest of the employees a smooth sailing way to do their work and everything. So what are these obstacles? Once you've done quarterly surveys, or you've done surveys on specific things, then you need to come and see, there's a lot of complaints in this, then why can't I just do the diversion and everything? There's an exchange of employees in the departments. Now, you will see changes. The other thing is, sometimes, and this goes back to now employing. When you employ on merit. Okay. The other thing, when you're employing on merit, then there will be no problem with you changing the staff. Like today, you go back, let us be served by Jane. You go back, let us be served by Paul. You go back, let us be served by Ken. Now, what am I trying to say? When there are departments give the department an opportunity, but be very clear initially, like no promotion is permanent. When I make you an HOD, doesn't mean you'll be HOD forever. This HOD thing might give you a platform to elevate depending on your performance. But at the same time, always be open to employees such that this HOD thing is rotational. All right? And I have spoken about this initially. Now, why? Because when we have a team of 18 and they choose their own HOD, of course you will weigh, why was this HOD chosen? Is it because too many people like him? Is it because they give people free, such kind of things? But you will still answer to the people. If you feel fit for this HOD that was proposed to serve, fine. If you don't feel fit, then you can always talk to the employees to redo. Now, when an HOD is chosen, let that HOD be aware, like it's not a permanent thing. The next, after 2 months or 3, then we can change HODs. Now, what does this do? It brings the HOD to try his or her best to perform, knowing that next time I'll still be back here, and then it will make the rest of the employees under him or her to be very motivated. They'll be like, I wish when I get this opportunity, I'll do this and I'll do this. And trust me, if you've ever tried that, it works. Nice. Now we go back to removing the obstacles in the system. Does not mean firing. I hope you've understood that. It just means maybe this person is powerful in this other position. Now, look at the culture also of the organization and the culture of the area. When you're doing some of the things, look at the area. There are some things there's some performances that we need to really, and this, if you've studied gender, then you'll get to understand some things. Depending on the demography of the place, even if I go there and I hire a woman as a leader, then clearly I will not get performance. Not to say that a woman is not fit for power, that a woman is not fit for leadership. But you need to be wise to do a balance. It's good that the Constitution of Kenya has given us the leeway for people to know that a woman is a must somewhere. Maybe a third gender rule, maybe something like that. Now, depending on the demography of where you are, because I come from a background of cultures and everything, now the demography of that place, do not assume, but always do a mixture. Okay, now this is how it plays. When the CEO is a woman, when the HOD is a woman this time, make it a deputy guy, a man. When the man is this, make a deputy a woman. There should be a gender balance all the way. But apart from that gender also, look at the cultural, define culture or define gender as a person who studied gender. Then you will get to understand what I mean. Okay, so in some areas, these positions might not really fit a lot of percentage of women, but you can always make those women active in terms of always ensuring that they perform. Now this one you will need to have to call me, because an organization in my county, Baringo, and an organization in Nairobi is not the same. That is why we are flexible, and there's the demography, a factor that we have to look into. Now the other thing is engage customers and public to get opinions. That is one of the objectives. Actually, the 9th one. When you engage the publics to get opinions, then you'll get the correct opinions. Now, who are these publics? I always see CEOs and these big people having lunch in big places. And then they have their own table, and then now they are protected. They cannot even mingle with other people. As a leader, as a CEO, as anybody who is interested in knowing how the organization is performing, always show up in places that you are not normally seen. Show up somewhere. Show up in a place where the youth are they're playing football. Show up there, cheer, team up. And then, you know, when you're cheering these people up, you're having conversations. As a woman CEO, as a woman leader, show up in those marketplaces. Talk to these women. Talk to them. They will give you secrets that you do not have. You do not even know about. Now, engage with the public in as many ways as possible. As the CEO, then you'll get to understand. Of course, that is another way. That's a skill that you need to have on your own. But in the organization also, you have to engage with the public in what sense, in what way. You send questionnaires, you send your videos, you do some triggers, you know. And these are so many, it works even in radio stations and everything. And that is the work of the public relations officer. Will tell you how to do that to be able to engage and to understand. Now, those are the objectives that you need to have in that letter. And when as a CEO, you receive that letter and you see those objectives, you can either call that person, that PR officer on board, discuss. Let them elaborate just the way I've elaborated, but I have not been specific to any organization. But now let that person engage. Now, there is something called the deliverables. After you've written the letter, you've given a background information, there's also the objectives, you've given the objectives, now there is the deliverables. How do you do this? And this is done in order to achieve the following. Okay, and remember I told you as a CEO or a leader, do not be, I have people doing it for me all the time. No, at some point you also have to be part of the team. Now, number one, to achieve this, you need to train managers. Yeah, involve a one-on-one training and in terms of assisting them in skills and behavior. You know, assist them in skills and behavior. Maybe some managers, when they hear the tag manager, they become bossy, they become this and this. No, that's not the style. So as the CEO or the dream bearer, you have to talk to them in a way that they will understand. Like, abana, unakuwa mkali, reduce tu kidogo, ama usikue hivyo sana. Kidogo tu tuangalia hawa watu wetu ni wazuri, lakini tunaweza wasaidia kwa kuweza kwa encourage, kukua na wao. You see, you will understand. So training of managers. This can happen by you yourself as a dream bearer, or the CEO, or the director. And also, this can happen by you taking them for benchmarking, taking them to places where you've seen the managers there are well, their character is almost the same as you want them to be. And remember, people are different, but you just want them to embrace that. The benchmarking will help there. And it will help them also in terms of behavioral change, you know, and balancing. The other thing is group observation and feedback with a recommendation on how to go and how to progress. Okay, so group observation, you will achieve it through the things I've told you, doing surveys and everything, and coming this weekend and mingling with the subordinate staff. Decide, you know what, they're cleaning. I'll be part of the cleaning. And then you do the cleaning, and then you start telling them how you used to work in organization. Hey, you know, I used to clean also. I used to do this, I used to do this. So they get to understand, they get to understand, they get to understand. In this, they're getting motivation that if you've become this, then from this, I can become something. You know, nice. And then you get ideas too. The other thing is train staff on customer care. And this is the most important thing. If you don't have customer care that is on point, then you're losing. Okay, now train staff on customer care in order to improve the relationship between the customers and the staff. And I've always said, the customer has no business asking for a manager in terms of service if he or she was served well. When he or she asks for a manager, please, it's not because she or he is becoming a Karen. No, they just want to come and tell you something. So still get those, list them down, but at the same time, work on your customer care. Because sometimes maybe you'll have traveled and they're asking for the manager and the manager is not there. All right? Now, the other thing is start new CSR, community service. Give the community service related on what you are doing to improve the PR between you and the community. Like, for example, I'd propose, you know what? There's so many organizations that can benefit from other organizations. with very, very, very simple things that an organization can afford. Now, while it is not easy as a PRO to conquer so much of such, if you feel like as an organization, you need to build your name through service of giving, through service of giving, then you need to reach out to me, because there are so many ways this can work and it is sustainable. This idea that I have is sustainable for you. How? We will have to sit down and discuss, just like in the initial point of objectives, and discuss. That is the place where people have not really embraced, organizations have not really embraced. The other thing is incentives to customers. This same point of CSR and incentives to customers and employees is almost the same. Now, have you seen, I admire organizations where after some time, the customers or the employees get a treat, they get a family treat. It's a healthy week. They come with their families, they get tested, they get even to get the pap smear done, the men get the blood pressure, everything is catered for by the organization. Just come, your husband, wife, and of course 2 kids or something like that as an organization. How wonderful. So in terms of that, you're encouraging performance. A parent will sit down and see, wow, doing this test is very expensive in another hospital, but the organization is offering, and this is really nice. Dental checkup, and it is healthy for you to do dental checkup twice in a year. So imagine the organization has offered that. It has already killed one time for you, so you just have to go and pay for the other time after 6 months. Nice. Now the other thing is rebranding, advertisements, and everything. You need to work on those in order to wake up your organization. We've spoken about this. There is need to shift way and style of serving the community. Okay, that is why you find people with the capes, umbrellas, and especially pregnant women. That's why I'm telling you, as an organization, there's a way you can make your presence known in amazing ways. Just contact me. The other one is feedback mechanism. Change how you get your feedback mechanism. Participating style, employee feedback is always good about the performances and how they achieve, and also pay these people who achieve in the organization. How do you do this? Very simple. Very simple. And I wish as an organization you embrace such. Keep calling, keep contacting me. These are my contacts, and you will enjoy leading that organization. You will not be scared as a CEO, like, I've been posted to this organization. Oh my God, what do I do? Now let me tell you where people fail. You plan to fail by not using your own intellect. They say usibebewe akili na mtu. And let me tell you, you are a free molecule. Mingle with your employees, okay? Get to mingle with everyone. Give them a shareable, as in a good share moments. Share good moments together. Talk to them, engage them, give them responsibilities they never felt that they will ever do. Challenge them in a good way, not in a bad, in a strenuous way, okay? And then you'll get to understand the powers. And remember, as a new CEO or as a new HR, as a new someone or anything, not everything you get from these big people is the right thing. Give yourself room to think for yourself, to digest for yourself. Now, that is it for today. This is really wide, and we will be having a third session that we will be talking about this letter, this proposal letter to an organization that is ailing. We had the first one, we are now having the second one, and we will be having the third one. Stay tuned. Thank you to the Wala production for always creating time and doing the edits. Thank you for viewing, and thank you for always contacting. Now, let's keep these contacts and keep calling. It's always a pleasure having coffee, sitting down and discussing business with you.